Welcome everyone. Today we're going to take a quick look at the basics of internal family systems, or IFS therapy, in a way that's simple, clear, and hopefully makes a lot of sense. To begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of inner child work? You know that sense that your childhood isn't totally behind you, like there's a younger part of you still inside, showing up sometimes in your reactions or emotions. Most of us have heard of that, and it makes sense, right? But what if it's not just one inner child? What if you had an internal family? Think about it. Have you ever felt like a little kid in your adult body? Overwhelmed, scared, just needing comfort? Then another time you felt more like a rebellious teenager, emotional and reactive. Some people call those inner experiences their wounded child, their protector, their inner critic, or maybe their shadow self or saboteur. Sometimes they show up as emotional flashbacks, the voices in my head, my anxious side, my monkey mind, my ego. Does any of this sound familiar? If yes, you might have your own name for them. And no, having them does not mean you have multiple personality disorder. In IFS we call them parts, and we all have them. In a nutshell, IFS is an evidence-based therapy approach that helps you get to know these different parts of yourself in a way that makes sense and allows you to build inner safety, trust, autonomy, and self-love. It's like becoming your own best friend instead of your worst enemy. And it all begins with spending time with yourself in a new way. Most of us are already aware of those loud inner voices, overwhelming feelings, and inner conflicts. Most likely they have been running the show. What IFS offers is a way to approach them differently, and that's where something called self comes in. Now you may be wondering, wait, is self another part? In IFS, the self is your true core, innate essence that can heal your system. It's the source of your inner wisdom and the natural leader of your internal world. Some people call it their wise self, higher self, consciousness, or inner light. Others know it as Source, Christ within, the Tao, the nature of mind, the Atman, or simply the calm inside. Whatever language you use, the self exists within all of us, even if it feels distant or hard to believe right now. That's the beauty of IFS. It guides us in accessing this inner presence and allowing it to lead, a state known as being self-led. Just to be clear, IFS is not about self-replacing or getting rid of your parts. It's about cultivating a deep connection between yourself and your parts, one that, little by little, leads to internal shifts, breakthroughs, transformation, and profound healing, so your system can begin to feel integrated, whole, and harmonious. Now, if you're struggling to connect with self for weeks, months, or even years, you aren't a failure or doing anything wrong. It also doesn't mean IFS isn't working. Trauma can block access to self-energy. It's actually quite common, but that doesn't mean healing isn't possible. In IFS, the focus is not about trying to get you into self. Instead, the session is about going at your system's pace, being with your parts in the way they need. Just befriending them, helping them feel understood, heard, validated, and supported. And through that process, self-energy often begins to emerge on its own. In traditional talk therapy, the focus is often on changing, fixing, defeating, overcoming, putting a lot of effort into stopping behaviors and thoughts. It's about talking through what happened or trying to manage things from the outside. IFS takes a different approach. Instead of analyzing or eliminating, you're gently guided inward to help you be with your inner experience in a whole new way. But if going inside feels too threatening or unsafe, you're not alone. It's actually common for beginners to spend early IFS sessions doing something called parts mapping, a gentle and powerful way to start getting to know your internal system from a safe distance. Another common IFS approach is to simply notice and just talk about the parts that show up in your daily life without needing to drop into deep emotions. For example, you might say, I notice my inner critic kicking in when I made a mistake at work, or my people-pleasing part took over in my conversation yesterday. This can help you gradually build awareness and self-energy at a pace that feels natural and supportive. It's okay not to know how this all works yet. You can simply start with curiosity and maybe just give it a try. Let yourself explore gently and at your own pace. No matter where you are on your journey, IFS will meet you right there. Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to connect with the IFS community further, we invite you to visit our website, everythingifs.com. There you'll find a calendar showcasing all the free IFS events happening every day. We also invite you to come follow us on our Everything IFS Facebook page. We'd love to have you at facebook.com/everythingifs. And if you're looking for an IFS professional, be sure to visit the world's premier Parts Work directory, featuring professionals who specialize in internal family systems. At www.partsworkdirectory.com. Sending love to you and all your parts. See you next time.